This is Believe in You, motivation. Inspirational stories about life. One day, Buddha called his students for the day's teaching. He asked 2 students to pick 2 stones each, a small stone, and another one, a little big stone. He then walked his students to an open field, and asked the 2 students to step forward. He asked them to throw the stones and see how far the stones would go. Buddha asked the other students to observe carefully. The first student threw the small stone, then threw the big stone. He noted how far he had thrown the 2 stones. The second student came forward. He first threw the small stone, and then threw the big stone. He also noted the distance each stone fell. Buddha then asked the 2 students to explain how far the stones they had thrown fell. The first student explained he had noted that he had thrown the small stone a longer distance than the big stone. Buddha asked him what he thought was the reason why the small stone landed far from the big stone. The student answered and said, "The small stone was light, hence he was able to throw it far. The second stone was big and heavy, hence he wasn't able to throw it as far as he had done with the small stone." Buddha nodded and turned to the second student. The second student explained that the small and big stones had landed at nearly the same position. Buddha asked him what he thought was the reason for the 2 stones landing at nearly the same distance. The student explained that he had used the same energy to throw the 2 stones, hence the 2 stones had landed at nearly the same distance. Buddha then explained that the 2 stones, the small and the big stones, are the challenges that we face in our daily lives. We often categorize problems as either small or big. Buddha then explained to his students that when they see something to be small, it will be small in their minds. And if they see something to be big, then it will also be big in their minds too. That means, we then handle the 2 problems based on their sizes. For the small problem, we give little energy, while the big problem, we give a lot of energy. That is why sometimes, even the little problems in our lives that we feel we had handled well, still come to haunt us later. Buddha explained that it was necessary to handle problems with the same energy, despite the size of the problems. The moral of this story is that everyone faces problems every day, no matter how perfect we may think we are. We may face emptiness, relationship issues, workplace issues, and even health issues. Problems are there and aren't going anywhere unless we face them and solve them. Acknowledging your problems, solving them, and getting on with your life is better than making it all a big deal. Your problems shouldn't become the source of sorrow, hurt, and grief for you. Sometimes, we don't have our full potential to deal with our own issues, but if we know what we are dealing with, we can do better. Once you have a clear perspective of the problems you have in your life, you can deal with them in a better way.